How y'all doing? I'm doing good. It's Deandra here. If you are new, I want to talk to you guys. And I don't think this is going to be a long conversation. I just want to give my opinions about certain things. And I am apologizing in advance for the firecrackers, okay? I want to talk about DIOR. But not just DIOR. It's going to encompass a lot of other brands in total because it's LVMH. But not just LVMH either. And I did make a post about it, highlighting the article saying it's a must read. I'm hoping you guys have read it by now. But I've noticed as of late, I mean, people have already done their videos about it, but I've been reflecting on it, especially because of my DHGATE video. I don't know if you guys remember talking about counterfeit items and how I personally don't do it and so forth like that, but what I recommend others to do. And I'm realizing I think I may want to take back my feelings about it. Granted, it's still not something I would personally do for myself because I just don't want to personally dabble in that. A lot of the replica items are very heavily logoed, and I'm just not a logo person in general. And if I do want to really wear it, I'm going to get the real thing. I'm not going to lie. But I've noticed with the whole the article and the extremes in which they are putting their workers through and the negligence of these companies, and also the gross profit margins, I'm there wondering to myself, on top of all of this, what we think as consumers we are buying into. Okay, we are thinking we're buying into the security that an item has been made to its utmost. We are thinking that the company are doing all of these checks and balances and they're not neglecting and exploiting their workers. That was one of the reasons why a lot of people kind of buy the real items. Not only that, is one of the contributing factors though, in comparison to the counterfeit and replica items. And now the paradigm has shifted from, with the counterfeit items, you may be supporting child labor, exploitation, and all that stuff. But with the real brand, that things are being, or at least we felt so, that things are being done to the right standards. But now that paradigm has shifted to, now with the real brands, for sure there's exploitation and all these horrible things. And with the counterfeit items, there may or may not, it's still that vague ambiguity type of situation about it. Like, it may still be there, but we don't know for sure. But we know for sure with the actual brand names. And of course that goes along with a lot of greed and all that stuff, all intertwined. And it makes me think, like, should I have knocked people buying I shouldn't say I've knocked them, because honestly, I personally feel do you, but I was giving them an alternative in terms of what I thought was more cost effective, what was more bang for your buck. So that's why I recommended places like, getting an alternative, certain brands that do have the logos and kind of give you that same look that the other higher brands are kind of doing, and or just renting the item. That's also an option. Rent the runway, or even, I forgot what the other one is, where you can rent, like, it'll be like $200 a month, which I think is a lot. But at least you are getting the real thing and you get to experience that. But I was giving you cost effective options, which I think would be a better bang for your buck. And at least with like the Coach and the Michael Kors and the Guess items, you can possibly sell them off when you no longer want them and recoup some money. Now, the emergence of this news has me rethinking my original thought process. And now I'm just like, we cannot even count on these companies doing their due diligence, making sure that things are done to the utmost, making sure that their workers are being treated fairly. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about the profit margins, because the profit margins are is so much. It's exuberant. You see what I'm saying? I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm talking about the livelihoods of people and their well-being. That for me is more important than the profit margins at the point in time. I feel like the profit margins come second, but people's well-being comes first. That's just me personally. So, and I feel, as I said, I'm stressing, I feel like that was one of the main contributing factors why people did not like replica and counterfeit items, okay? And I think that is a really, since I think that is a really big contributing factor, and now that paradigm has shifted, do what you want. At this point in time, do what you want. Because, I mean, they always say that, you know, the same factories that are making it for these big companies are also selling the counterfeit items. If it is true, do what you want, because guess what? You are making sure that you are possibly even doing a more cost-effective choice for yourself, because guess what? You're not paying thousands of dollars. You're probably paying hundreds of dollars instead, because it seems like those counterfeits are not as cheap as I thought it was. I thought it was like under $100. That's not the case, but at least you're getting some savings if it is true that they're being made from the same factories that are being exploited. And it seems like, to be honest, from the money that DIOR was charging or paying them, you actually may be paying them a better or fairer rate with their replica items than possibly even the name brand, because they were cutting it so low, and so it was ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? So you may be helping them actually get more profits under the replica market, actually have something to live off of, more so than them actually meeting their quotas for these big name brands, which is honestly mind-boggling if that is really true, because I honestly think that's what even drove them to do it. They're not making ends meet, or they can't live really off of the demands that they need to set and live up to be competitive in the market for these name brands. They are forced to go and do it on the side to make money for themselves, because they realize people do want it and they want to bargain. So guess what? I'm going to give it to them, and I can live off of that. And I honestly feel like that's where, I mean, granted, there is greed amongst everything, but I'm not surprised if that's what birthed all of this, especially the counterfeit market, because it's ridiculous how the disparity in the numbers were, okay? So I say all this to say, as I said, this is not a long video. I'm just giving my viewpoints. Everything in the article was atrocious, and it's not only DIOR. There's other brands under LVMH that is under review, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's other brands that are not under LVMH that are kind of doing this as well, especially that are under large umbrellas. I would not be surprised at all, because once I feel like companies, when they're under a large umbrella, it becomes the bottom line. It really does. If you guys work in a corporate sector, especially when it comes from private into public, it always, at the end of the day, becomes the bottom line, which is sad, and it drives product value down in terms of the materials that they use and all that stuff. It does, but at the end of the day, it is a cold-hearted business when it becomes public versus private. And so I personally feel like LVMH is not the only one that has been doing this. So I'm pretty sure a lot of the other higher name brands that we're used to, that people love, may have the same issues, or may be doing the same thing as well. So let me know what you guys think. I want to know, has this news, I guess, restructured your thinking about the luxury space? I am not a luxury channel, as my channel is called Fashion Without Limitations, but I do have a couple luxury things here and there, okay, that I get at a bargain. Not a bargain, but at a sale price. I'm not paying it full price. However, has this news made you think differently about these brands and how things have been happening in the luxury market? Me particularly, it has made me rethink about certain things I said about my DHGATE video. I'll link it down below. I still don't think that is a sector that I will partake in, but I feel like If you really like the logo, you really want that look, I'm not against it anymore. I do think I would still recommend Coach and Michael Kors and all that stuff, but if you really want that Gucci logo on there, be my guest, okay? Be my guest, because at the end of the day, there's no certainty that we are getting what we think we're paying for. There's no certainty of it anymore. And I honestly love this this year, with a lot of things are being debunked, and you were getting information of things that were possibly speculation, but is actually hardcore proof. And I honestly think the emergence of this is because of the economy and the state that it's in, and the decline in goods and so forth. So I guess it's almost like even us in the lab where I work, like when things are slow, that is the time when management has time to really look back and think and look into what we have been doing, what can be improved on, where are we bleeding money, things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like because of the state of the economy, the upper heads and also the people around have time to look into, like, okay, we're not making money as it is, but why are we bleeding money? What is happening? Why are things as grave as it is? What can we improve on? And when you go down that rabbit hole, sometimes you see things that you wish you never saw before, which I'm on the management side of things. So sometimes, yes, that can happen. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that we were doing it this way when we were supposed to be doing it the other way. And I feel like since we have the time now to do that, things are being uprooted and things are being brought to the open, and I'm happy that it's being brought to the open to the consumers as well. So I'm officially going to end this video. Please let me know your thoughts. Let me know, has this news made you think differently as well? Please write it down in the comment section. Tell me if you guys are now more open to the counterfeit and replica market because of this news, which I would not be mad at you for, because honestly, it may be okay to do, it may just be okay to do. But yes, please let me know down in the comment section, and I will engage with you there. Bye everyone, have a good one.